First hole here at Kingswood, pretty little hole. It's 333 metres for men, 306 for the girls. It's ranked number 10 in hardness. The fairway bottlenecks at around the 240 metre mark, where most people hit their tee shot to. Then a little pitch into a green that's tricky to read, guarded by a bunker on the right, which is not easy to get up and down of, so it pays to think about your second shot coming into this little hole. The second hole here at Kingswood is one of the stronger holes, 370 metres for the men, 346 for the girls, strongly rated. It's heavily guarded by tea tree all the way down the right hand side, about the 240, 250 metre marker to penalising fairway bunkers. Most people are going in with a second shot with a mid to long iron, two-tier green, guarded heavily by bunkers down the right hand side and short. Tough little hole. Coming into the green, you want to make sure you're getting your distances right, particularly if the pin's cut back right, where you want to try and get your second shot on that same tier, otherwise it's a very difficult putt from there. Our third hole is one of our signature holes here at Kingswood. It's a par 5, 490 for the guys, 400 for the girls. Dog legs to the left off the tee, dog legs back to the right for your second shot, and then the green's tucked back in left. Your drive, you want to make sure you've got a little right to left shape on it to get it down the hill, where your second shot needs to be a little bit of a fade to miss the penalising fairway bunkers that are about 80 metres short of the green. They're a very difficult shot if you get it in there. Third shot in, most people are hitting it as a 3-shot par 5. It's very difficult to hit it on in 2. The green's guarded left by thick tea tree, bunkered both sides, and a green sloping back to front, very penalising over the back. The tiger pin here is back left and very tricky to get your pitch in close to that one. Fourth hole here is one of the new holes here at Kingswood, built in the early 2000s. It's 157 from the back for the guys and 123 for the girls. Guarded by water at the back, one of the considered easier holes. The bunkers guarding the left of the green are very deep, very tricky to get it up and down from there because the green slopes from left to right pretty severely at the front part of the green and then flattens out towards the back. Our fifth hole is par 5, dog legs right and up the hill, one of the few hills that we've got here at Kingswood. Most of the course is pretty flat. 470 for the guys, 433 for the girls. They get a little bit of a head start here. You want to get your tee shot trying to fade a little bit off the tee as it's a pretty early dog leg. Your second shot is a blind second shot guarded by some fairway bunkers on the left. Most people will play it as a 3-shot hole. Some of the longer hitters can get there in 2. The green's reasonably flat at the front, drops away at the back with 2 greenside bunkers that are very tricky to get it up and down if you've hit it in there for 2, but a nice little hole. Okay, the 6th hole here at Kingswood's a par 3, elevated tee shot, short little hole. It's number 17 rated for the boys, 18 for the girls. Pretty straightforward, but a reasonably high back tier to the green, so you want to ensure you get your tee shot on the same level that the pin's at, otherwise it's a very difficult 2-putt. The 7th hole here, it's a short par 4, one of the newer holes as well. 304 for the boys, 265 for the girls, and although it's only short, there's a lot of high scores made on the hole, particularly from the tee shot, which is a blind tee shot up and over the hill, guarded by a fairway bunker at the 220 metre mark and one a little shorter on the right. There's basically 3 places you can hit it off the tee. The shorter hitters will lay it up around the 160 to 170 mark and then try and get it on the green from there. The real treachery, if you like, in this hole is the green sits at you at an angle and slopes very heavily from back to front, so anything in the front bunker is very difficult to keep it on the green, and it runs away into some swales at the back. Although it's only short, it's not an easy hole. The 8th hole, one of the most pretty holes here at Kingswood. It's guarded by water all the way from the tee box, all the way down the right hand side and around the back of the green. Your second shot in, we've got a greenside bunker which is around 20 metres short of the green, and it visually just gives you that illusion of the green being a little bit shorter because there's a bit of dead ground there, and a lot of second shots come up short, not only because of that, because of the waters at the back. The green slopes pretty severely from front to back. Ninth hole is our strongest hole for the boys. It's the 3rd strongest for the girls. Girls get a little bit of a head start in front of the water. The tiger tees for the guys, you've got to hit over the same body of water that comes around the back of the 8th green. The hole goes south back down towards the clubhouse. Fairway bunkered around the 240 metre mark from the tiger tees, and the fairway really bottlenecks here. And down the left hand side's some thick tea tree and really large gums, so it certainly warrants our strongest hole rating. Hitting your second shot into the green, there's a greenside bunker which guards the left-hand side and traps at the back, and then if the flag's towards the back of the green and you're in the back bunkers, it's almost impossible to get it up and down as it slopes away from those bunkers. Your job's certainly not done when you get to this green. There's a lot of slopes on it which run in different directions, so once again it really warrants the number 1 rating for our toughest hole at the club. Our 10th hole here at Kingswood is one of our shorter par 4s at only 280 for the boys, 260 for the girls. Most people leave the driver in the bag here and lay up just short of the fairway bunkers on the left, and one which guards the green, which you could consider almost a greenside bunker / fairway bunker. They'll lay it up around about the 200 metre mark, which will leave you a reasonably simple little pitch into a flat green. Some of the longer hitters will take on the green in one off the tee, but the penalties are pretty harsh if you just don't quite make it. The green's tucked in and around to the right a little bit of some thick tea tree and big gums. So any shot that falls short of trying to go for the green off the tee, you're lucky to find your ball, let alone get in and play it. So it's there for the guys who want to have a crack, and the rewards are there, but the risks are certainly great. Number 11 is our second hardest hole here for the boys. It's a par 5 for the girls, 395 for the boys, 365 for the girls. The tee shot is reasonably generous. We've got out of bounds down the left, but a reasonably wide fairway until the bottleneck of around about 250 metres off the tee, where there's thick rough both left and right. And you certainly want to make sure you get your tee shot onto the cut surface, because going in with your second shot, this is one of the most treacherous greens here at Kingswood. It severely slopes from back to front, out of bounds over the back. Lightning fast green, so if your ball's in the rough off the tee and you're playing your second shot in, it's very difficult to control where you want to hit the ball, and that's underneath the hole. Any second shot that comes up just a fraction short can roll back down the front of the green at least 20 to 30 metres. So your tee shot really important, but your work's not done when you get to the green. 12th hole here at Kingswood's a par 5 for the boys, par 5 for the girls, 489 and 423. About a mid-rating type hole. Most of even the longer players will play it as a 3-shot hole because the fairway really narrows in around the driving zone, and it's a thick tea tree both left and right. So you're certainly lucky if you find your ball, let alone being able to get in and play it. So most of the scratch golfers will be taking an iron off this tee and playing the par 5 as a 3-shot hole, laying up their second shot just short of the heavily guarded fairway bunkers that are around the 40 to 50 metres from the green, and then playing a little pitch into a big open green, reasonably flat, slopes back to front, guarded by bunkers left and right. Here we have the 13th hole, one of our signature holes. If you ever want to see a hole that typifies a sandbelt looking golf hole, well, this is it. It's one of the most picturesque holes you'll come across. 183 metres for the guys, 124 for the girls. They get a little bit of a head start. Thick bracken up until about the 120 metre mark, so it doesn't really come into play for the scratch golfers. The green's guarded by a deep greenside bunker on the right hand side. The green slopes from right to left down towards the left-hand side where there's a deep swale. A lot of shots tend to run down into this swale because the golfers trying to keep it away from that right-hand bunker. But an amazing hole just to look at and a great fun hole to play. The 14th hole, another one of our stronger holes here at the club. Off the tee tree both left and right. The longer players can take on the fairway bunkers which guards the left-hand side. The penalty for going too far, if you do that, is going through the fairway and into the water, so you need a pretty accurate tee shot. There's also out of bounds to the left, so if you're going to take on those bunkers you need to draw it a little bit. However, if you overdraw it, it turns into a hook. You're in the houses down the left-hand side, which is out of bounds. Second shot in, the green is a little bowl type shape where all the shots from left to right and front to back will run into the centre. Yeah, most important thing going in with your second shot is getting your distance right, as two putting's very tricky if you're on the wrong quadrant of the green. Par 3 15th, it's 133 for the boys, 103 for the girls. It's guarded by water at the front and to the right. You can consider this a 3-tier green, an unusual shaped green. You've got flat spots on the front left, a swale, a big swale at the front right in the centre where any shot that doesn't actually hit the right section of green will run down into, making your putting very difficult, very easy to 3-putt from down there. Only a short par 3, but very tricky. 16th hole, our par 5, 504 for the boys, 435 for the girls. Probably one of our most famous holes here at the club in respect to the green. The tee shot, the fairway adjoins the 12th hole to the right. We've got out of bounds down the left off the tee. Fairway bunkers guarding the left-hand side. You've got an enormous amount of room to hit your tee shot to the centre of the fairway or even to the right. A tee shot hit to the right will block your second shot out a little bit, but it's not a huge penalty. Second shot, the fairway starts to bottleneck in around the 30 to 40 metre mark from the green. Most players, even the elite players, will be playing this hole as a 3-shot hole. The green is A treacherous green to say the least. It slopes very heavily from front to back and from the right hand side down to the left. So any shot, any pitch even hit from even slightly left of centre in the middle of the green will run off to the left. The green slopes severely off the back, making it almost impossible to get it up and down or even keep your chip shot back on the green. The bunker on the right hand side of the green, anyone finishing in there, it is almost impossible to actually keep it on the green from in there, let alone get it like close to the flag. This hole, or this green in particular, brings a lot of players undone. In our elite events, we see some very big scores on this hole just from the green alone. The 17th hole, the run back towards the clubhouse. It's a short par 4, 322 for the boys, 292 for the girls. It's about a mid-rating type hole. Reasonably generous tee shot. However, anyone missing the fairway left here, it is thick tee tree. Almost impossible to get in and get your balls. So an accurate tee shot is paramount. Large gums mark the fairway all the way down the right-hand side and all the way to the green. A tough little green, usually going in there with a short iron. There's a deep bunker at the front of the green. The green slopes away from the middle and to the left down into a swale on the left-hand side, which is very difficult to get it up and down. It's a pretty severe slope off the back of the green. Makes it very difficult to get it up and down if you're over there as well. So it's important to get your second shot underneath the hole, otherwise you'll have a tricky sloping little putt for a birdie. The 18th hole, the run back towards the clubhouse, which is in view off the tee. 373 par 4 for the boys, 335 for the girls. Slightly elevated tee shot from the back tees. Reasonably generous fairway. Out of bounds down the left with some tea tree. Some famous old oak trees on the right hand side. Second shot in, guarded by a greenside bunker to the left and a swale that runs off to the right. Very subtle undulating green, make it very difficult to read. A beautiful finishing hole.